Hello world! So welcome to my channel. I usually make a lot of videos related to embedded systems and electronics related stuff. But today's video is going to be a little different because it is going to be about the Chevening Scholarship. So I had got the scholarship in the year 2015. And for that academic year, that is 2015-16, I got to pursue my master's in computer systems engineering from the University of Glasgow, thanks to the Chevening Scholarship. So what happens is I usually get a lot of questions on my LinkedIn, and also I've answered quite a few of them on Quora as well, regarding the scholarship. Although there's an FAQ section of the Chevening scholarship, like on the official Chevening website, but there are a few questions which you guys, always have, and which I think will be best answered by someone who's appeared for the interview and cleared the interview. So these are the questions that I'm going to address now. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to answer is this, that should I apply for the scholarship first or should I get the acceptances from the universities first? So in my case, I'll tell you about my personal experience. So when I appeared for the interview, after almost when all the questions were done and around, during the end of the interview, I was asked this question, whether you've got acceptance from, either of the three universities that you've applied to. And fortunately for me, I had acceptances from all the three universities, that is University of Glasgow, Edinburgh and Sheffield. So I had acceptance from all these three universities. And I'm not saying that it actually had any impact on the overall interview process, because the interview process, as I said, was almost over and this was asked in the end. But since I had performed quite well according to what I perceive, so this question did add some weight. I mean, the answer to this, that yes, I have got acceptance, did add some weight, because now there's no reason to deny you the scholarship if you've performed well throughout the interview and your application is good enough. So there's no reason why they will deny you the scholarship. So overall, I would say that it only leaves an impact if you have performed well and if your application is strong as such. Then definitely this is a plus point, that you have got acceptances also from all the universities. But having said that, if you go and check on the official Chevening website, they've simply stated that you are encouraged to apply for the scholarship to the universities first and get the acceptances. So they've simply stated that. They've just asked you to apply first and that'll be good. But from my personal experience, I would certainly say that yes, do the application process for the universities first, get the acceptance, appear for the IELTS test, because without that, without the submission of that test, you will not get the acceptance from the university, like the confirmed acceptance. So I would say that appear for the test, get the acceptances, then go for the Chevening scholarship related process, because it approximately takes 8 months time for the entire process to get completed, the scholarship application process. So before you sit for the interview, make sure you've got acceptances from the universities. And yeah, I think that's all about the first question. Let's move on to the next one now. So the next set of questions that I usually get are based on work experience. So the first one that I usually get is, do we really need 2 years of work experience, or is it fine if we have less than 2 years of work experience? So over here, what really counts is not the number of years, but 2,800 hours, work hours. So if you have managed to accomplish these many number of hours before 2 years of work, before 2 years, if you've managed that much, then it's all right. If you do not have 2 years of work experience, anything less is fine. But you have to make sure that you have 2,800 work hours in your kitty before you apply for the scholarship. Otherwise, you won't be considered. Okay, so the second query that I get related to work experience is, what counts as work experience? So basically, full-time employment after your undergrad, or during your undergrad if you have part-time employment, before your undergrad, whatever employment, and during, after, everything counts basically. Only thing is that it should not be a part of your curriculum. Like there are certain courses wherein you have to do internship or a job or whatever as a part of a syllabus, so if that is the case, then that won't count. But if you're doing it voluntarily, like I had this short break between the third and fourth year of engineering. So I voluntarily pursued this 1 month internship at a hospital. So that did count as work experience because it wasn't a part of the curriculum. So yeah, overall, this is what counts as work experience, valid work experience. So now let's move on to the third query. Okay, so the final query related to work experience is that, what if my work experience is not in line with the course that I'm interested in pursuing? So that can happen with a lot of us. So particularly in my case, which was absolutely bizarre, I had Bachelor of Engineering degree in biomedical field. I wanted to pursue Masters in Computer Systems Engineering, and my work experience was related to IT industry. So as it appears that all these three things are very, very different from each other. But in my case, I'll explain you how did I justify the whole thing, that how does this all make sense. So the first thing is that, well, I was doing biomedical engineering. I had some courses related to embedded systems, and I used to like, writing code, and I used to love putting that code onto the hardware and see it running and everything. So I justified it with that. And also I had pursued certain projects related to embedded systems while I was doing my engineering. So that was a strong point. Then the other thing is that while I was working in the IT industry, which was like for 4 years, that was the amount of experience that I had. So I got to enhance my communication skills. I also got the know-how of everyday work, and I worked with a lot of clients during that period from all across the globe, and I worked on multiple projects. And the other thing is that I acquired a lot of technical knowledge, which comes in handy even for computer systems engineering related course. So I learned many programming languages, and I was a part of quality team. So I had also experience in testing a final product. So everything comes in handy. So all these skills are transferable for this particular career move or career change. So that's how I justified the whole thing. So even if you have work experience, which is not in line with your career move, you can always explain it, and that's what I did. And so don't be afraid, just pick up on those skills that you acquired, which are certainly transferable. So focus on that. You will certainly be able to justify the whole thing. So the next question isn't really a question, but a misconception which is there, that the Chevening scholarships are very humanities oriented. Basically, that means that only people who want to pursue something related to social sciences or political science, something related to art and stuff like that, do get the Chevening scholarship. Now that's a misconception, because I am an engineer, and there were several engineers during the same academic year who got the scholarship. And so that's purely a misconception. So the thing is that you should have some beautiful ideas on how you can contribute towards the growth of your country through this MSc program that you want to take up. And if you have, again, the same thing, leadership potential or not, whichever field you are in, if you are brilliant at what you do, and if you have past experiences to showcase the same, then you certainly stand an equal chance to get selected for the award. So no, it does not depend upon what field you come from, but rather what do you have and how can you contribute. That is what counts. So I hope I've cleared this misconception. So the next question that is regularly asked is, are grades the only deciding factor to get the scholarship? So I would want to clear this instantly that no, that is not true. Grades aren't the only deciding factor. But having said that, if you have got good grades, that only shows that whatever you picked up in terms of education, you performed well at that. So it definitely, I would say, is a positive thing if you have got distinction, first class or whatever, because it clearly shows that whatever you took up, you performed it well. So that's a very good thing. But even if during your work experience time, if you have got some awards and accolades or some emails from your manager that you've performed exceedingly well on a certain task and which shows or showcases your leadership potential, then that also counts. So it's not simply, it just does not boil down to your grades, but your overall profile is looked upon, and if you exhibit leadership potential or not. And why this is so important is because the scholarship is given to people who can be potential leaders for their country, because it's for the upliftment of the country. Basically, you have to do something for your home country in return. So that's why these scholarships are given. So if you have that potential in you, and if you can take up something, do it well, and you have some examples which you can show that clearly in the past you have achieved good results, and you have some emails or stuff like that which showcases that, which exhibit your leadership potential, then definitely all of that counts. So everything counts. Grades aren't the only deciding factor. Even if with bad grades, let's say you perform really well at workplace, then still you are eligible to get it. So you simply have to apply and you have to see whether you get it or not. But if you have certain things which you acquired during your work experience, like certain awards and appreciation from clients or anything of that sort, everything counts. So leadership potential is what is very, very important. So the final question that I'm going to answer is this, that do British university professors treat Chevening scholars any differently? So no, you're not treated anything differently. Even if you are like Chevening Scholar or a Commonwealth Scholar or any other scholar, you're not treated any differently, and probably people wouldn't even realize they're sitting beside a Chevening Scholar. It's not a huge deal. But the two major advantages that you will have are these, that the first one being, because you're a Chevening Scholar, you get to connect with the whole cohort of Chevening Scholars. There'll be an entire network that you get to connect with, and that means you can make so many friends, and at the same time you can have mentors and all these people, wonderful people around you who can guide you in a beautiful way. So that is the major advantage, I would say. That's number one. And also you get to participate in a lot of activities and events that happen throughout the year because of the Chevening scholarship. So you get to participate in all of these throughout the year, which makes your year more exciting. So that's the major advantage. Then the second advantage is that your finances will be taken care of. So the funds that you get through your scholarship are like enough to meet all your ends, and everything will be taken care of from that amount. So that means that your entire focus can be on your studies and perhaps your overall improving your overall growth and stuff like that. So your focus wouldn't be on your finances and managing that so much, but it'll be on your studies and extracurricular activities and stuff of that sort, which makes the year more exciting for you. So I hope I have answered some of your questions. Obviously, this is the phase wherein you're going to apply for the scholarship now, because I think on 3rd of September 2020, the windows will open again for the next academic year. So I think you may have these sort of questions, and I hope I've answered some of them. If you have more questions, which I think you may have because each case is unique, you can always message them to me on my LinkedIn, and I'll put the link to my LinkedIn profile in the description below. And if you are okay with it, you can ask those questions in the comment section as well. I'll be more than happy to help you. And hopefully, I'm going to meet some of the future Chevening scholars because of this probably video. I hope I have helped some of you. And the next video that I'm going to make will be on interview specific questions, that is Chevening interview specific questions. And I'll try and narrate my own interview experience in that particular video. So that'll be an upcoming video in some time. So if you want to stay updated, then do subscribe to the channel and do share the video, like it if you really liked it, comment down more questions if you have, and share the video. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye world.